alright, I'm just trying to get this so it's the right way around. And I think that would be... No, it doesn't like it. Nope, still upside down. That looks better. Okay, still 2 minutes to go before 1. Is that okay now, Mandy? Is it the right way round now? It's always a bit annoying, that slight gap between typing and... Yes. Get a snack, that's a good idea. Drink of juice, I've got my drink of water here. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So, for people who purchased over a certain amount last month or so, I sent out some of these beautiful papers from the Expressions in Ink suite. On the one side, they all have this beautiful gold foiling, and on the other side, just beautiful coloured patterns, all with that inky splop sort of look. So I thought, as I'd sent people these out, it might be a good idea to show you some ideas to use it for. I also treated myself to the matching artistically inked stamp set, which is very pretty. I also treated myself, just as an aside, to the die set, and I die cut this beautiful bouquet and I stuck it onto a bit of watercolour paper and used the new Stampin' Up pastels, which have disappeared. That's good. The new Stampin' Up pastels to push through the colour, which gave me this topper and this nice background, which I stuck one of the other die cuts on. And I do love the font of that, thanks. Obviously I need quite a few thank you cards for all you lovely customers out there, so it's really handy to have that stamp. Now, one of the cards I made using the papers, and I did use some of the ephemera and the stamps as well. So it's one of the basic white notelets which come with envelopes, and then a layer of pear pizzazz with some of the beautiful, now that's just the unfoiled paper side, and it still looks absolutely gorgeous. Added a bit of the foiled ephemera and a couple of stamped images raised up on dimensionals, so that's really pretty, nice and fresh. And then one of the pink sheets, because I had the whole pack, I cut it into 4 by 4 squares. So you should get, if my sums serve me right, 9 of these squares out of the sheet of 12 by 12. And here I've simply just stuck it down on a 5 by 5 card. Now I will confess these are not Stampin' Up card stock, but you can make yourself a 5 by 5 square card out of your thick basic white card. So then it's the layer of the 4 by 4, now this time it is the foiled side I've used, and here's some more of the ephemera pack onto a layer of Whisper White, some of the foiled, and a few of the little, now what do you call those little things? Sequins, the little sequins, which are really lovely pearlescent sequins. And I've just stamped Best Wishes into the middle of that foiled frame. And also you can go very simple. This is a bit of the Magenta Madness. So it's the same 5 by 5 square with a 4.5 by 4.5 square of the Magenta Madness, and then just the plain piece of paper just with thanks typed on it. Doesn't need anything else. You could add some sequins or some ephemera if you wanted, but I think these just look absolutely stunning just as they are. And this one, as you can see, I've added some of the ephemera. I haven't bothered with the layer of Magenta Madness. It's just some of the little sequins and the die cuts from the ephemera pack. And this time purely just the word thanks and some sequins. This time it's a thank you from another stamp set with ephemera and some sequins. This time I decided to use some gold foil. Now this is the brushed gold foil, which is rather nice. And some sequins and the ephemera leaves. So that's what I've done with them so far. So today I thought we'd try something a bit different. Now I've cut out a section. I've got a standard A6 card, which is your A4 thick basic white cardstock cut in half and then folded in half. And then I have a mat of Pear Pizzazz, and then I die cut one of the beautiful stitched rectangles out of this bit, and I stamped in Pear Pizzazz thanks along the bottom here. And now we're going to have fun deciding what we can put in here. Now I did get myself some Whisper White cardstock to try stamping on. And I thought we could try and think what would be nice. Now I thought if I do a background on here to fit in there with this ink blot stamp. Might need a bigger It looks almost like a little fox outline, that, doesn't it? Like there's a curly tail and a little head with the ears. Yes, I know. Going mad. Now I've got Pear Pizzazz ink here. So I'm going to ink now. These are distinctive stamps. So you get a whole variety of colour. Now look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It looks like you've stamped several different first generation, second generation and third generation, all in the one pass. Really beautiful. Now we need to cut this to shape. Excuse me while I just check what size I want. This should just fit. There you are. So there we are. That, then that. And now to add a pop of colour, I'm going to stamp this rose in shall we go, well, let's go for the Flirty Flamingo, which also goes. There's the Polished Pink and the Flirty Flamingo are the two pinks that go with this, and the Pale Papaya is in this colour range as well. And there's lots of greens. Oh, wow. I hope I'm still in shock for that. Right, now I do have the dies for cutting these out, but just to show that you don't have to have them, I'll just cut them out by hand. And then we'll go for some of the lovely gold leaves from the ephemera pack to back them up. And I think that'll make an interesting always remember when you're cutting, turn your paper, not your scissors. There we go. Nearly there. And as usual, I've tried to do odd numbers, one big one and two small ones. For some reason, odd numbers please the eye more. So here we go. Now if we go in the ephemera pack, which has also disappeared. That's clever. Here you have everything out. Oh, here it is. I tucked it at the back so as I wouldn't lose it, and promptly lost it. Right. So see, you can see now what's in these ephemera packs. You have these different sizes of frame. You have some leaves and some little sprigs, and I think I'll go with this one, or the narrower one. Let's go with this one. Okay, so let's put this together now, shall we? Now, I prefer to put things together with the liquid glue and dimensionals. I like the liquid glue because it gives me a bit of wiggle time, because I have such shaky hands that I just need that little bit of give and take so that I don't if you see, sorry, I should be showing you what I'm doing better here. So I've sort of lined that up first of all. So I now see that, and then we're going to now I'll blog with these cards later and give you all the dimensions and things at that point. Right, and I'm going to put the little leaves down flat. But I might just, in fact, I'll put the little roses down. Let's just try this. What do you think? Does that look okay? We're not showing enough of the leaf there, are we? But if we bring it down a bit, maybe if we put these up in that corner. I think it does need to be. Let's just put it further over. So. Thank goodness I've got nails now for these little dimensionals. Yes, see if we actually offset that a bit, we see a bit more of the leaves. I like that. What do you think? Then, I think that's quite pretty, isn't it? What do we think? Just something a bit different. I do love these stitched shapes. The stitched rectangles are just so useful. And that's obviously, I've used the inside section for a label, but I just thought that was just too nice a shape to throw away. So waste not, want not, as they say. So there we are, first card made. Now, the next card, I'm going to use some of the, I think that's the Evening Evergreen. And I thought we could use some of this one. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Or this one. Ooh. A bit more white on this one. Yes, let's go with this one. So I want to cut nine by 14. And then we could just simply add a greeting on there, like that. Or we could take one of these frames now. By my reckoning, I should be able to get a second frame when I remove the selvage from this by just using it like so. I do apologise for my shaky hands. They are just not cooperating very well today. And now with these really fine ones, it's a good idea just to let them fall and relax when you've been shoving them about like that. So if I put that there, and then these can just sit around it. What do we think? And then we could add one of these down here. And we've still got the proper frame to use it in some other card. I think that's quite nice. Now the tricky bit is going to be sticking these down. I think what I might do is add an edge to this. Right, this has been stamped in the Evening Evergreen. So what I'll do is I'll just give it an edge of the Evening Evergreen as well. keep going out of shot. There we are. That's going to look a little better now, don't you think? So, let's stick you down first. I'll put you up on dimensionals. Okay, now I could use the fine needle one, but I think even that's going to be a bit heavy for this. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue on my hand and stroke this through the glue, and then we can That's tricky. I think we'll stick this to the card before we put it. Seems a shame to cover up the other side, doesn't it? But the beauty of it is, if you buy the whole paper pack, you do get 2 sheets of each paper. So that gives you 2 chances to use each side, or a chance to use each side rather. I'm just going to stick this down with liquid glue, I think. I'll clean that off later. So, I think that's a bit different from the other one and still quite nice. I hope you like it. So, I'm going to just add a layer of Whisper White on the inside. So that's another idea for using these beautiful foiled papers. Lovely. And I thought for the last one I'd use one of the colours I seem to keep avoiding and go for the pale papaya papers. So again, we'll just cut a layer to size. And I love these little gold dots for the flower centres. Aren't they pretty? It's such lovely paper. Now what I would like next is a layer of the pale papaya. we can try. This is what happens when you just come on to play, and I haven't really made a plan. I'm going to stamp some of the leaves this time. Somewhere or other I have. Did anyone see where I put the ink pad? It's clever. I've got a grey one here, but not the green one. Clever. Aha! There we are. And again, you're going to see you get lots of different shades of green. So it almost has that lovely watercolour effect. And here I have my poor chamois, which has been well loved. It has just been washed again. It does stay stained, but it just, as you see, cleans the stamp perfectly every time. So again, I do have the dies, but I will just hand cut these to save getting the machine in to shot, and also just to show that they are relatively easy to cut out, these stamps, especially these ones. Just nice. I do like to try and leave a little white edge. Sometimes it's a little bigger than others, but I'm sorry if I'm not responding to the comments very well, but I'm not very good at multitasking. I think I was meant to be a man sometimes. And now I think if we stamp one of these roses in the pale papaya, now I don't have all the ink pads here because I've got so many ink pads, so I'm very loath to keep buying new ink pads. I think my plan for all the in colours now is that I will just buy the little uninked ink pads and buy the ink refills. Oh, now isn't that's worked better this time, hasn't it? Lovely. So what's everybody up to this afternoon? It's nice and dry here at the moment. It's not particularly sunny. It's a bit overcast, but it's really nice. We're having such changeable weather. Yesterday it was raining when I got up, and my poor pusscat had a bit of an incident and managed to get poop off his feet all over the duvet cover, the pillowcases and the sheet. However, I do not know how he managed to get every single bit of bedding, but he did. So the whole bed had to be stripped off and remade. So, what do you think? Is that nice? So as I was saying, the weather turned really nice and I got my bedding hung out and dried, much to my surprise. And I was thinking we could use these little dots to do a faux centre for that flower, couldn't we? So it looks more like what's in the background. And then at night the rain came down in buckets again, which meant I didn't have to water the garden. So it was the perfect day. I'm sure there's a song in the film Camelot about it. It only rains after 8 o'clock at night and things. And I always thought that sounded ideal. So there we are. I think that's pretty. Let's put this together. Right, there we go. So there we are, 3 different ideas for using up this lovely paper that you might have got samples of from me, and if you didn't, please feel free to go to my shop and order some, or let me know if you want me to add it to my next order for you. It's a slightly dearer paper pack because of the gold foiling, so it's £14 rather than the £10.75 that the normal DSP is. But I think it's worth every penny because you can get so many cards. I mean, look at that one sheet I got 9 cards out of, and you could do more, obviously. If you went for some of the little 3x3 cards, we actually have little 3x3 envelopes in the catalogue, and that would make, so there we are. That's the 3 cards I've made today, and I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit different this afternoon. And I hope you'll join me next time. I'm hoping to have a look at the In Bloom die set next time, where you get these beautiful stitched flowers, and I found I'd made a whole box full of them after a day of fun just die cutting lots of different colours of flowers out. So I hope you can join me for that one. I'll put the details up on my Facebook page when I get organised, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.